God, not again.
And I believe Katie is zooming in from Mankato. Then we did something. Stop recording.
Huh?
I'm gonna there you go, stop that for now. All right. There.
You're a member?
Yeah, the three of us and Katie, 4 people.
Oh, okay. Good.
I guess I didn't know if I was an official member or if I was just a at-large
I think you're a
person that
member.
comes by once in a while.
Katie, is Mon a member?
He does not live in the city limits.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's probably a thing, right, Sunny?
Normally I would say yes, this is Orinoco, so I'm not sure what you guys decided on how it's set up. So he would not be a member living in the township?
I don't think so. Unless the bylaws, I think the Gold Rush, we had the bylaws where township people were members, but city committees, I think it has to be a resident property owner. So,
That's the way it usually.
I'm comfortable with not voting on any business items. I live on Lake Umbro. I'm interested in water trails and any, any kind of developments that affect the landscape.
So the other two are Justin and Lance that are not. Okay, got it.
Okay, so we have a quorum, so Katie, you want to call the meeting to order?
Yes, please. The meeting should be called to order at 7:11. And Dana, can you start with the agenda, please?
Does
Or does Sunny even want to? I don't know. How do we want to do it?
anyone have a chance to look at the April minutes? If you have any questions or concerns? Otherwise, I'll make a motion to approve the April minutes.
Katie, you were the only other one here. So you would have to second.
Because Ryland's not seconding anymore,
Maryland's not technically on the committee anymore.
right? This is just, I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. But anyway, okay. So I second.
Okay. Okay, motion to approve, Katie's second. All in favor of approving the April minutes? Aye.
And I vote aye too, even though I wasn't here.
Yep.
Aye.
Katie?
I
Approved. Have you had a chance to look over the May agenda? Any additions, changes, Ryland?
music in the park was not on the agenda.
Oh, okay. Yes, it is. At the bottom, toward the bottom.
Got it. Thank you. I went through the parks list real quick and missed that.
Okay, any other things anybody needs to add? Anyone wants to talk about that you don't see on there?
Just a question, last year we talked about No Mo May. Are we supporting No Mo May or do we care or just, I shouldn't mention that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, we can talk about it. We could probably just talk about that under the first parks. Didn't go well. So we can kind of chat
Okay,
we can chat about it.
well, I mean, is it something we want to support or are we? Cause I know last year we talked about maybe having I think, is it okay to talk about it now?
Well, let's get the agenda approved and then we can add,
Okay.
we can talk about it under. Where do we want to add it?
Right after Master Gardener Program Project.
Yeah. So, motion to approve
Are you
the
motion?
agenda,
I make the motion to approve the agenda
okay, as amended.
as amended.
I'll second.
Aye.
Oh, sorry. All in favor of motion or of the May agenda? Signify by saying aye.
Aye. And then you say opposed, same sign. And
Yeah.
then,
All right,
who do we get to second it though? I don't know.
I seconded it. All right, so you have
Okay,
it in front of you, Katie?
no, I do not. I am just about to start moving. I'm in Byron.
All right, sounds good. I'll keep kind of,
So yes, if you guys can keep moving things along, that would be super fantastic.
Perfect.
I really appreciate it, you guys.
all right, Ryland, updates on the water trail.
So we submitted the application to the LCCMR. And right now, the next milestone is June 8th. June 8th is when the LCCMR makes the first review of the projects. And there's several hundred projects. However, in the category of, I think it's 1.5 million or less, there's 8 projects, and we're one of those. So that's a good sign for $170,000. So we'll find out more, probably not at the June meeting, but the July meeting, and give you a report.
Okay,
This is the funding for the Greater Zumwalt River Regional Water Park designation and we went out and funding experts at SEH, the engineering company that we're working with, they suggest we go and submit a grant application to the LCCMR to help fund the master plan development through, so that very briefly, the funding process review is between now and sometime in October, November. And then if we're picked to be written into the appropriations bill next January, then it goes to the legislative session and that's put into the omnibus bill. And it'll be approved in May of next year. And the funding would start in July of 2024. In the meantime, we're still waiting for $14,000 from the Wabasha County and $4,000 from the Dodge County. And we'll start talking to those people in the June, July timeframe, those finance administrators at those counties, to ask again to be included in their outside agencies budget. And if we're approved, that funding could be received in January. So that would help us tide over until, if we're fortunate to get the LCCMR funding.
So you're saying that we would probably hear about it next May?
Yes, that's when the official be approved, is voted in by the legislators,
Okay.
and signed by the governor,
But we might hear something preliminary before then.
which is Dodge and Goodhue. They've all given in their 14,000. That was all part of the original commitment to the commission, so for the trail.
Okay.
We do have a little funding left, about $7,000 left, that SEH will continue to work on the master plan this year as much as they can. Excuse me. That's all I have for you.
okay, thank you.
Could I ask a question?
You're on.
Will the LCCMR ask you to come up and present before the committee to give them additional information, or is there anything like that helps ensure that you don't fall off the bottom of the list?
Well, in our application, we referenced the Greater Minnesota Parks Trails Commission, the high ranking, and that we're working towards a regional, a master plan. And that's what this funding is helping to support.
So you think that there'll be other folks there that help get that plan funded.
Other folks, you mean,
Well, when we were, part of the Zumbro Watershed Partnership and trying to get money from those folks, it seemed like we had to go up there and present in front of some committee. Now, I'm not
Yes.
sure it was LCCMR or maybe it was environment or somebody else, I'm not sure.
no, you're right. There will be a presentation. We'll find out June 8th. And then during that, between June and August, September, there are presentations made to the committee review that approves them. So there could be a presentation if we're selected to do so.
That's why correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why the final decisions don't come out until like October. I think it is.
Yeah, I'd say.
And it's the city of Orinoco is merely the lead on this,
Physical agent.
but it is still a partnership. So I think to your point, it won't just be us going up there and SEH. I think that we're pulling the partners that are part of that as well.
Sure.
To show support at the meeting? Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
in the presentation piece.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
They always like to see partnerships, and when you look at, a break in funding levels of less than $1 million, and we're asking for what, 270? Is that what it was? Yeah, it's like, we should be in there, one of 8, so.
It's weird though, depending on who's reviewing
Right.
them. Yeah,
Right, and if, theoretically, all 8. Whatever they're asking for could still be under that 1 million, right? They could fund us all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
The SEH funding people, they helped us put it together. They said it was well written and we had a very good prospect for getting the funding too. So they felt very good about it, so.
They're paid to say that. No, I'm just kidding.
well, I just know that some grants or when I've tried to get, it's been usually the level of grants is like 150,000. We have at the presentation, there's a large like community turnout. I don't know if it's the same kind of thing, but if we needed community turnout, it would be good for community members to know, just like warm bodies or like votes kind of, but.
And those community involvement is what I know SEH was working. in.
What's that,
Yeah,
CH?
drawing that together.
It's an engineering firm.
Oh. Okay,
And
Okay.
they do other
All
stuff
right, good,
too,
good.
but they were doing a survey even at National Night Out last year, right?
Right, we did
Is
one
that
there
kind
and
of-
we went to the Dodge County Fair and I went to the Zumbro Bridge Festival. Get input.
so they've already like got the community feedback and
Yeah,
it's okay.
and we need more and we'll work on that this year.
Okay.
The
Yeah, because that would be great to get the funding.
initial really wants public input. So, yeah. Next item is city council minutes. Unless there's any other questions on that. The porta potties, there was a motion to approve, and those were delivered today through October 16th. They'll be in our parks. And if I may just add another comment under the city minutes, and this is regards the peninsulas that belong to MnDOT along the Lake Shady bed. There's 2 of them.
What's it
This
called?
one, there's 2
Oh,
peninsulas
Peninsula, sorry, okay.
that go into Lake Shady bed that belong to MnDOT. And I went back and researched some documentation and there was an agreement to have MnDOT instead of, at that time when the county was doing the dam removal, the river restoration, instead of paying MnDOT for those peninsulas, MnDOT agreed to put a fence along the highway. And previously was a lake bed, so there was no need for a fence, but
Mhm.
now, so there was an agreement. I talked to Mark Schoenfelder today. He's the district engineer for Region 6. He said they were reviewing that documentation that I sent him of those emails from when our county attorney, Tom Canan, was negotiating with MnDOT. And they're reviewing it internally, and I should have some type of comment this week from the right-of-way supervisor.
And the issue is who who needs to manage it or what, or who
Who's
needs to?
gonna pay, put the fence in?
And what is the fence, what's the fence keeping out?
Well, the fence is long, if you go up and down 52, there's fences on both sides. And that belongs to MnDOT.
Oh,
So-
to keep people from on 52 to stay on 52?
Yes.
And not, okay, got it,
Keep people from coming up on the highway too.
got it, okay.
And deer and,
Mhm.
you know, so it's a public safety thing too,
Sure.
from that perspective.
So back then in 2015, 2016, it was agreed with MnDOT. Steve Kirsch was that gentleman with MnDOT, but he's since retired and passed on. But the point is there was documentation, there was agreement to do that. Instead of the county purchasing the land, MnDOT would, in lieu of dollars, they would put the fence in. It's about 1,500, 2,000 feet of fence. So we're,
Okay,
it's our expectation that MnDOT still agrees with that agreement, put the fence in.
Right.
We'll see. That's,
hopefully they're not on the fence.
it's pretty clear, but
Does that, then the county would give us the land? Or MnDOT gives us the land?
well, the agreement was that MnDOT would put the fence in and then the land would transfer to the county and the county would transfer to the city.
Is that a good thing?
Pardon?
Is that a good thing?
It's an excellent deal.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, is that good that the city wants more land or?
Well, we want to develop the lake bed. We have a master plan
Okay,
that was developed back in 2010. And I think Katie was involved with that.
so to redevelop the lake?
We can develop the lake.
We try to get a bridge up is the biggest push.
Okay.
A walking bridge of some sort. And I do find it interesting, though, the state doesn't want to go state to city. It wants to go county first, but that's okay. That's what it did with the dam, right?
So when you say,
to.
so when you say develop, you mean like to put,
Trails, gazebo.
right, okay, but it would remain
Yeah.
park land.
Yeah.
I think development like houses and it's like,
Because right now, the lake bed, except for those two peninsulas, belong to the city.
right,
The
okay,
county transferred that to us in December of 2017.
good.
Yeah, well,
So it's just like a right of way along the highway that would be transferred to the state and then to the county or state, county, city?
that's probably can be part of the negotiations. That's what was agreed to in 2016, and if they can transfer it to the city, that'd even be better. Just paperwork and a resolution.
Right, okay.
There's some property descriptions, that type of thing, the legality of it, but yeah.
That would be like title, the title would need to change, I mean, change ownership or whatever the time, yeah. Cool.
All right, any other questions about city council? Anything else to update on? I don't remember. That was a long meeting. Planter, so moving on to planter, or no, age-friendly Orinoco. I don't know if we have any parks updates, but we're working on our action plan and Joy Bertzinger is just done a great job of working on that.
We sent some letters of support for funding.
Yep.
From the state.
Yep.
For, Southeast Area Agency.
So-
Funding, which doesn't sound very promising.
So what's happening right now, just as everybody might as well talk about it. So what's happening right now is they're changing the formula for the way they fund older adults in Minnesota. They're changing it and they're changing the formula to push more money to the urban areas. It's gonna take a lot of funding away from Southeast Minnesota areas.
Greater Minnesota and Southeast.
Greater Minnesota. So we're asking people through, was it today or the 5th? There's an open,
Soon, yeah.
it's an open forum. I posted on the citizens page exactly what you need to do. You can take the letter, you can make it your own, but just send it to as many legislators as you can find, as, you know, the governor, just everybody to know that, you know, our rural areas are gonna hurt by this change in the formula. It's going to affect funding for Meals on Wheels. It's gonna affect funding for, you know, our congregate dining sites. It's gonna be a lot of issues. And SEMA's like the way that the feds get the money to all of these agencies. And so that's why you'll see the Southeast Minnesota Area on Agency on Aging is really pushing to have this changed because they don't want to have to cut funds to all these organizations that they are the grantor for, so. Yeah,
That usually needs to be in soon or sent soon.
I'll look it up. I can't remember this. It's soon. It's either 3rd or 5th of May.
Yes, it's
Okay.
probably this week.
So anyway.
So does Rochester qualify as an urban area though, or
Well, I
are
think,
they?
It does, it
just-
does for the LCCMR is considered urban.
Yeah.
Like, this is different
but
funding.
in rural is weird. The way that rural and non-rural are categorized is super strange. It's kind of all in your proximity to a place that has, like Faribault, for instance, is considered rural. You know, it's the strange.
And they base it on the number of coffee shops, but and Faribault has plenty. of coffee
Yeah,
shops.
right, and an enormous, they have, but anyway,
Make it urban.
great question,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've seen it based on zip code. And so it's interesting how close you can be rural,
Yeah.
right next to Rochester.
yeah.
Some, based, anyway, okay.
All right, that's all I have for age friendly. Anything else? No. Okay, planter park adoption options. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I took this on the last couple of years and I just don't have it in me to do it this year. All we really have is Alice Park and Community Center flower pots, and I would like to see the city take responsibility for that.
Even for planting and maintaining them.
Maintaining, I think we
Sure.
could plant,
Yeah.
I know we could easily, the group of us, I don't mind the planting, it's the maintaining. Like watering them weekly it's just not in my wheelhouse this year, I don't have the time. So I would like to bring it to the city to see if we can. Could be something added to the seasonal workers.
Seasonal.
I would agree with you on that. They're going there to empty garbages and check for litter and whatnot. Just asking them to get them wet every once in a while. I don't know. Is that a lot? Ask?
And I don't want to speak for Lance, but I know that, in the past, he's been happy to do the planting and, any of that. And I'd be happy to do the planting with them and even donate the flowers. That's not even. I always end up buying too many flowers. I can't use them all anyway. So I'm happy to do that. I just don't have the time to maintain.
It certainly makes sense to me. I think I mentioned this before,
Yeah, I think
that
we could,
as we build out the staff, we get a water bucket thing on the back of the ATV or whatever it is, and
when they pick up garbage,
kind of-
tie it in with picking the garbage up. I'm not sure if they do that daily or 3 times a week or whatever the case may be, but.
the
Yeah.
plant
Dallas
all
Park
over.
too, I think, right?
And the community
here.
center.
And here too. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're traveling all over the place.
No.
Good.
And there's sites that are already on there.
So, I don't know, I kind of want to make a motion, I'll make a motion to bring to council. That we have, that the Parks Committee recommends that the seasonal workers. Take over maintaining the flower pots at Alice Park and Community Center.
Would you want?
I second.
Second for discussion, okay, Brandon, do you have a
If we can, maybe even put a request, a vendor or volunteer request. See if anybody would want to do it, just to take care of them. In general, somebody from the public.
Well, to me, it makes sense to just task the seasonal staff with that. And I can talk to Kate, but I don't know that it really needs to go to council, but that's just my take on it.
I guess I was
think
thinking
it's
for
just a
just the
task.
planting, initial planting, if somebody volunteered, then the public works should take care of watering it.
I'm happy to volunteer to plant, and I'm hoping to make Lance do it with me. I'll spend some time with Lance and plant some flowers. That's kind of my vision.
I might have ordered too many as well, so May 20th weekend, I will know.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that part of it, you know, and I can make time for a little bit like that, but. So.
How do we decide something like that? How do we decide if the council has to ask Parks and Trails to do it versus us just asking them? How does that work?
Do you think it needs council approval? I don't,
I don't think so.
no.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, that's what they're here for, right? Is the parks and the trails, that's what the seasonal people are.
I'm sure the
meant to
public
do,
works would
so,
appreciate the planting, somebody doing the planting, but the watering, I think, could be something they do.
Yeah,
Okay,
And would they have to purchase some equipment to water it?
yeah, we have, right here, we have. It's not a big deal, we have, it's Alice Park, that's the pain. But they have all sorts of, you know, maybe they just need to fill up big. Buckets in there and drive them down in their gators or whatever we have right now. Cause we don't have like the cool sprayers, but eventually maybe we will.
I know there's water wicks that are used for like, so that you still need to fill them up, but they last because the water is wicking up. It lasts much longer than just having to water them every week. You could try one or more. I mean, just looking at water wicking here, and it's like 50 feet. Not that we would need 50 feet, but is, I'm guessing, is not gonna be very expensive. So maybe they would just need to do it once a month. 50 feet is like $8.
Where were you last year when I was doing this?
I was probably not posting and not zooming.
Shoot, that
Um,
would have been amazing.
I mean, there's different ways to keep soil moist. One is wicking. Let me go back. One is wicking, another is, another is just like putting a big pot, like clay pot that's sealed, you pour water in it, and that water slowly seeps out into the soil. If you want, I can put a number of alternatives, and it might fail, but it's a cheap way to not have them do it every week. And every week, I think is, to me, there's gonna be a big time cost, and I don't think it's necessary if there's different ways to have a reservoir that's either hidden, or like the wicking that it waters it slowly.
Would it work though we have existing giant cement planters?
I just think, how big is it?
they're huge.
Okay, I think as long as would water run out of the bottom? Okay, if not, I mean, if it did, you could put in a plastic tray, put in the wicks, put in the soil, and then just make sure that
Those
this,
are the ones right out here.
okay, well, I don't know if they have holes in them.
I don't know either.
Well, you could know anyway,
You can't move, I mean, you literally, you need a piece of machinery to move them.
right, that's not really it, something to hold the water in, and it can be either like a clay pot, which will slowly release the water, or it can be, I don't know if you've seen the tree bags that they water a tree.
Yeah.
That can, I mean, you'd probably put that at the bottom with the wicks going up, but there's a number of different alternatives to keep the water in the soil. And so it's not every week, maybe it's once a month, and I guess it would be kind of exciting to see what would work. Do you want me to send you a bunch of?
It would really be helpful for the Alice Park ones because they're the ones that there's no water source except the river. So you have to bring a bucket of water down there. So these are no big deal because there's a hose and there's water right around.
I'm just offering an
Yeah.
idea where it's like far less labor intensive,
Yeah.
and then, just kind of, I'll send you or send the
Yeah,
group a list,
definitely.
okay? Or actually, I should probably send it to you, otherwise it's considered a
Yeah,
violation. Okay,
perfect.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
So I'm just gonna go alternatives to watering.
Perfect.
So do you want to withdraw your motion?
I will withdraw my. Okay,
I'd be happy to help volunteer, like put it together,
yeah,
you know,
Oh, super.
okay, to be continued on the planting and the all that. Okay, moving on to porta potties. Ryland already told us they've been delivered. That's fantastic. So they'll be here through October 16th. I don't think we have any DNR grant updates. Lance is not here. No canoe access updates because it's May.
I can tell you that Kane did file the report that was needed for the EAB. So,
Oh. Oh, the old one. We're going back in time. Okay,
oh, are we going after another one?
maybe in the future,
Oh, okay.
but not, but yeah. The
With
report.
council
With
approval.
council approval. Community Center Parks and Grounds, so the Master Gardener Program project, right now that's kind of on hold. We're actually looking at a new sign for out here. So we're getting some bids, city council's getting some bids. It's gonna be this kind of sign that is, you know, like Grace Lutheran has, where it is a reader sign, so we're hoping that we can use some of our, what act was it? What funds?
Oh, American Rescue Plan.
American Rescue Plan, because it's like a way to communicate. And so we put one here and then hopefully on the east side as well, over by Memorial Park. And then they'd have, you know, meeting times and nights and what's happening in the city. So that's what we're hoping for. So next city council meeting, we're hoping to have, make a decision on what signs, what company we're gonna go with and the sign, what it'll look like, but they'll look really nice. Either one will look good. Brick on the bottom.
The brick maybe, it's getting pretty expensive,
Yeah,
so we may,
the solid brick is,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like $4,000 or $5,000. So we're probably looking at 2 posts, with maybe some landscaping around them, or rock or something
Oh.
like that. But
They be
to be
metal?
determined. Hmm?
Would they be metal posts?
Yes.
Or, yeah,
Okay,
Either metal or aluminum panel or roof posts.
yeah, okay,
And both bids will show 2 posts, so they're competitive.
okay.
That's the idea, so.
Okay, cool. So more to come on that. Do you have any questions about the perennials and stuff, you guys, or are we just? I don't think we have any Master Gardener program updates. Is Katie still here?
I am still here. Can you hear me? Are you guys there? Okay, sometimes. Yeah, it's just something to keep an eye on to make sure that there's good plants out there. So that's about it for now.
And I just, again, that, to me, that would be another place where we would have the parks maintained.
Right, yeah, or try to figure out a better way to
Right.
keep moisture there. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Or
That area out front.
Yeah, and I mean, as everybody probably already knows, I'm a big native plant person. A lot of native plants are very, you know, hardy when it comes to drought. They don't bloom all summer. But they're hardy, they don't, they could either be used to fill in, but, you know, they're not, they wouldn't need to be watered that often or at all, depending on how deep
Mhm.
you know, you wouldn't even need the wicks. But they won't be flowering all summer, so if that's a problem, you know, so that's a big difference between the natives and the non-natives, that they're not really for show, but they
Mhm.
are, like the little blue stem grass is a pretty
Mhm.
sort of architectural type grass, which is very, very hardy.
the grass that kind of blows.
I think all of them, some of them,
Taller and.
They feather out of.
feather at the top, it means it's invasive. And once it was at our church and
I
I
love
I
it.
wanted to, we were trying to get rid of it because it was taking over the environment. And my joke was that I asked if we could use dynamite to dig it out,
Oh.
and they were like, no. It's very, very tough to get rid of.
Well, and hostas kind of like, don't they just take care of themselves?
Hostas, but they would need some water
And
and
shade, they like shade.
and shade. But I'm thinking of, and I can send that too, just a plant. So how, does that get much sunlight or out there?
Well, it's under a Roseau cedar tree. Is that a cedar tree?
But there's lots of grasses that do that. But what you're talking about, the very tall ones, the ones that are sort of really eye catching.
Of course they are. Everything
Well, I'm glad they're all in my neighbor's.
fun is
house.
bad for you.
Uh,
Everything fun is bad. Well, yeah, that would be great. I mean, that would be a good option. And I don't know how disruptive putting a new sign is gonna be in, so I don't know if it'll be worth planting this year.
Sorry.
I don't know if it'll be worth planting this year anyway, because
No, these signs won't be 3 to 12 weeks before they're in the ground, so it'll be like August or September before.
no,
What does that mean, 12 weeks before they're in the ground? Sorry.
I think get the boards ordered, the signs ordered, installed.
Oh, I'm sorry, to get the sign in the 12, well, no, 12 weeks ahead.
would the grasses be annual or perennial? So that would be
Maintenance.
nice.
Yeah.
But again, maybe not till we could plant them in the fall, then they'd be cheaper too.
I could probably donate them. I mean, it's my business yeah. I wouldn't worry about the cost of them. The only maintenance they would need is either like late winter or spring to get them weed whipped down to the ground. And that's it.
I like it.
I can send, and I know one would be like, can't think of it, but it's a pretty grass. Like a display grass, and it is native.
Yeah, send those to Sunny too, and we can kind of talk about it. And if we're gonna, it doesn't make sense to plant perennials that would possibly get disrupted by the fence or the sign this year, but maybe in the fall.
How deep will the bed be?
Well, it's already out there.
Okay, so
I
it's,
have no idea.
okay,
I've never put my hands in there. Last year, the master gardeners messed with it.
so is there any plans this year to do anything with it? Because if you want, I could just put some native plants in there and then either they'll die or they'll live. But that's, if you want to do that and just see, we can see what does really well there and what.
Yeah, you're welcome to test it
Do
out.
that anytime?
Yes,
Okay.
good, thank you.
They won't be flowering, just, they're not.
That'll be a good,
It's defined because it's a raised bed
Okay,
yeah,
with timbers around it now, so you know
Okay.
where.
thank you.
Yeah, last year I think all they did was put some annuals in there. I don't know if we even got a bill for that. Did Vivian Williams just donate that?
Yeah, that'd be a nice plan to have that just kind of take care of itself
Yeah.
after a few
Yeah.
years.
It's a little bit of maintenance, but
Sure.
not very much. And
Right.
they're amazingly, when the drought was at last year? Some of my clients up in the Twin Cities, like everything was dead except for the perennial native
Mm.
grasses, because their roots go so
Mhm.
deep. Or not dead, but dormant, I guess. Very drop seed is what I'm thinking of for the one that would be pretty.
Thank you. Any other discussion about this part? Moving on to No Mow May. So I can kind of give you the backstory of what happened last year, Dawn.
May I, sorry to interrupt you. Is there really sort of any interest in supporting it or not really, no matter whether it was good or bad last year?
I'm interested, but I'm worried. Well, I'm interested, but I think that we would have to have a better plan. And we would have to communicate it. So I think our biggest issue last year is we didn't communicate it.
So can we maybe say, let's make a plan for next? No more May.
I think that would be a great idea.
Okay, fine, just,
I think that would be a great idea, and I'll tell you kind of what happened, so we had. And I feel like it's gonna happen this year, we're going to have really long grass because it's been so wet,
mhm.
and what happened was. We had people really upset about the long grass at some of the
It wasn't
parks.
received very well.
It
A
was.
lot of it was just
But-
communicating.
And if they didn't know, weren't expecting it, then
Exactly.
it'd be like, well, you guys are being derelict.
Well, and it was kind of like we pay taxes to have our grass, there was a lot. So we as a city, took this on. And we talked about it, but the reality is nobody watches our city council meetings, so nobody knew. And so, I did put it out there on the citizens page and
Right.
we did put it out there.
Yeah.
But not as much as we should have.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay,
if
let's-
we are to do it, I think. What would be a really good idea is, in the spring, it would be in the spring newsletter, it would be in, all the places. And
It
then
would be on the
maybe,
sign that's going, it'd be on the information sign that's.
Right.
Yeah,
and maybe we would put out information, or maybe we would choose, maybe not all the parks, or maybe we would rotate parks, you know what I mean? Like this year, we're not gonna mow this park or this park, but you know what I
yeah,
mean?
a sign that this park is, the insects in this park are enjoying no more May, please have patience until
Yes.
June.
So
Yeah,
maybe we pick
Okay.
one park a year. I mean, there's tons of different ways we
Yeah,
can
parks,
approach it.
We did get complaints like in Oracle Park where places were being rented and people complained about the long grass, didn't look nice, and
Yeah.
same time River Park too, where there's still like kids playing in the tall grass, they didn't like, parents didn't like the tall grass.
and
The
I
other
guess
issue too, is just
Yeah,
public works,
say that again,
mowing the top, after a whole month of growing, and the
Yeah.
public works has to go in and mow it, it's a lot of extra work and
That was a problem.
multiple passes, and it's just
So,
not well received.
so I think too, like, it has to be at the public works discretion of, it's gonna be too long and it's gonna be too tough on our equipment. At some point, so I think whenever we do support it, it has to be.
feasible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but yes, I very much am supportive of it and, I think. We all were excited to try it. We just maybe didn't execute it properly. It could have been done better.
Yeah.
Well, and
No
from-
doubt about that.
For the public works, I think collectively making it citywide was hard
Yes.
to catch up in June
Yes,
from that, so.
that's right.
I think, some middle ground would be
Mhm.
to rotate a park or.
Mhm.
Or even sections of.
Right.
park or
Mhm.
Yeah.
something.
And with a sign or something saying this is,
Exactly.
I would work with Public Works, I'm just thinking of Orinoco Park, where everything below the brick wall
Yeah,
towards the river,
right.
just put multiple signs saying this is just especially mowing, whatever the appropriate name is,
Yeah.
but put signs in that area, so
Mhm.
just demonstrate to the public that we're concerned about mowing, and this is one area that we're avoiding for the month of May, and but the park itself, for the shelter and the restrooms and the playground will all be mowed.
Right. Yeah, I like
is that
that.
for this year or next year? So,
We can do it this year if we get plenty of time to get the signs
Communicate
made
it
and stuff,
and-
yeah.
yeah.
That's the challenge.
well, I'll just,
We should have started a month ago.
well, that's what and I know last year I thought, let's work on it, but I'll just focus on for next year.
I think that that's the right way to go
Yeah.
about it, we're in May. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but
I know,
here we are.
I
And
know.
so I think we should just wait and make a solid plan for next year. I don't want to spring anything on the public works again.
Is there, if I read up a draft and have people comment on it, would that work? I mean,
That'd be
the
perfect.
draft would be a target for whatever,
Mhm.
okay.
And last year was community-wide, you saw articles about it too. From different cities, and I don't know if there's still that enthusiasm to do it again this year, or
It
it
was,
just happens later in May, I guess, maybe.
it was really, well, it's because it's been so cold, it doesn't seem like May, but it really was. There was a lot of communities that participated last year.
I remember it was big and yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there's just some practical things that need to be ironed out, but I definitely think that everybody would be on board again.
In part. The other thing that I would say about this year is with all this other projects, the wastewater treatment facility and water improvements, Public Works is really gonna be,
Right.
so that's why I say if you're gonna do it, only one part or partial part, but, but,
I think it's okay to just wait till next year.
okay.
I'm in favor of that.
Okay.
I'm making a solid plan instead of just jumping in.
Just make sure it gets on that March, April agenda next year. Parks.
Hey, did you hear that?
Yes, wait till next year, but maybe get some input this summer to get a better idea
Yeah,
of
and then we
what
have,
makes sense.
yep, and then get it on the March or March agenda for next spring to actually implement.
And like, we'd have to price, you probably prefer to buy the official signs versus just making some, right?
Depending on how much they cost.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, cause is that like a nationwide program or something?
I'm guessing, I don't know if it's a nationwide program, but I'm guessing it's like grassroots kind of nationwide. program. I didn't mean, I
You
don't.
say
I'm not-
grassroots.
I know, I wasn't trying to, but I don't know that it's a.
I like it.
Oh, that's a national program.
Ron's shaking his head.
Sometimes I try to do that, but no more me.
That'll give an opportunity too for budgeting considerations
Yeah,
as well for the
that's-
signs and such.
All right, I like it, guys.
Could I just add one thing? I know Ryland mentioned the porta potties but also the benches, the tables and the garbage cans are all out as well.
And we have 2 garbage cans at River Park now.
One gazebo and.
I like it. Yeah, I was really happy to see that. But they are really nice and hopefully indestructible. Less destructible, whatever. All right,
Less maintenance.
less maintenance. All right, Alice Park, any, we talked already about the flowers beds down there. Any other things we need to chat about? Last year we had what did we tear out last year?
Garlic mustard.
Yeah,
So
wanna do it again?
sure, I'm guessing there'll be less this year, hopefully, but yeah, that would be great.
And when did we do that again?
Well, I won't be here most of June or July. If we can do it before July the 4th, that's usually a great time to do it. But as I won't, if I'd like to be here for it, so how about we say the last week of May? Whatever day works best on the last week of May.
Well, last week of May. Last full week of May, before
Yeah,
Memorial
let's say
Day?
the last full week of May, because I'll be driving to New York and.
That is a pretty good week for city stuff because we don't have many meetings the last week of the month. Any meetings typically, who knows?
So last year, I can't remember when we did it from like 6 to 9 or something last year. Katie, do you remember?
So I have pictures of when we started and when we finished, so I would agree like 5:30, 6 o'clock. And there was maybe 4 or 5 of us there, so it went pretty quick, and then we made what I call a hasty decision by saying, let's let parks clean this up. So maybe we gotta figure out what day of the week they wanna pick up our stuff, cause we weren't really gonna be able to do it ourselves, so.
Right, there's a lot of it. And it can sit there for a day or, if we picked it on Friday, they can pick it up on Monday, because it'll be dry. It'll have lost a lot
That's a
of,
better thing to do, right?
yeah, it'll lost a lot of its moisture.
Yeah,
Um,
trying to find it. I can't find when we did it.
Ooh,
either.
a mallard just flew in front of me, silly mallard. But I just put my brakes on. So, but obviously, Friday, Memorial Day weekend won't work, but maybe that Tuesday that week or Wednesday.
let's see, what number date is Tuesday or
Let's see,
Wednesday?
26, 25, 24, 23, 23 and 24.
Just gonna make sure I don't have any on the 23 or 24.
Yeah.
I have, nope, May, right? May. So May. Yeah, I should be fine, like, Tuesday, so is that the last Tuesday of May or the second last Tuesday? of May?
Second to last.
Okay, and what day is that?
Tuesday, the 23rd.
Tuesday, the 23rd. Okay, so 6 to 9, Tuesday, the 23rd.
Yeah, let's go for it. That sounds fun.
We I don't know who advertised it last year, but somebody did, and we had a few other people volunteer.
We can put it out on the citizens.
Okay,
I think I did that last year.
and yeah, then I'll help with it, you know, that there'll be whatever, how to identify it.
Oh, yeah. If you wanna, if you have a good article that I can put out about it.
Maybe I just have an article. I don't know how good it is, but sure.
Well, yeah, anything that incorporate with it
Sure.
to teach
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, okay.
I'll do that, and then Sunny will put out a meeting notice because
Good.
we'll be technically
Oh,
gathering,
that's right.
not making decisions or anything, but still. Cool, I like it. That's fun to have things to do finally again. I feel like
Good.
parks, we get so quiet in the winter and then.
Then it all happens at once.
Yeah. All right, Orinoco Park, we have everything down there that needs to be down there and, bathrooms are gonna be open just for events and there's no camping again. Do we have that all right?
Yes, for Reynolds, yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Music in the park, Ryland.
Okay, so I made an attempt to make a poster.
It looks great. What's wrong with that?
Music by the Zumbro, I should have made more copies, but pass it
Oh,
around.
music by the Zumbro, we're calling it.
I thought maybe it might be a little, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's used in other towns or not, but. It's got all the information and pictures that I took off of their Facebook pages. If anybody wants to work with that, it's a Word document. But. I
You
didn't
know-
put anything in there about the root beer and ice cream because I wasn't sure if we were gonna do that or not.
I think we should do it for one of them.
The last one would be the best then. If we're gonna do something that's kind of an extra treat or something, we could announce that at the or the July 4th, July 2nd
Mhm.
one.
If you wanna send this to me, you know, I like being creative, so I'm willing, you can send this to me and I can play with it.
Yeah, if you wanna have at it,
Okay, well, you'll have to send it to me on a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we should probably get something out later this week. Yeah,
We also need to figure out how many people you want there to help. Cause it's July 2nd, August, what?
June 4th.
Oh,
July
June
2nd,
4th, okay,
July 23rd.
okay. Yeah, so we should probably do a poll to see who's gonna be around for all those, cause I'm sure you'd like, but Ryland, are you able to attend all three?
Yes, I can do that, or plan on it.
Okay,
I just need.
And- what kind of setup is there gonna be? Maybe not too much, cause these bands are used to, as long as they have a place to plug in, we don't have to do any extra setup.
Yeah, there's a couple outlets in the shelter. They bring their own PA system, everything.
Yeah,
Make sure the restrooms are unlocked. But if we could advertise on the Citizens Facebook website. And then we'll make. 10 posters. We'll put them around Orinoco, Pine Island Quick Trip. I know the Mexican restaurant let me put a sign up there at Gold Rush last year. Maybe other places too. But I think just Pine Island and here and the businesses in town.
Yeah, and the posters will have all 3 dates on it.
Yes, all day, yeah, all of the days are on the
Nice.
one poster. Address 7 to 8 on those Sundays. Bring your lawn chair, enjoy the music presented by the Orinoco Parks Committee.
I will make a poster that has all the dates and then I'll make an event poster for each individual one.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Just a social media blast, actually, not a poster to post anywhere in town, but something for the city to put out.
And then one
One,
group poster like this.
yes, that we can actually print.
I can tell you that, I got an inquiry today, have someone heard about this music in the park thing? What a great idea. And she knows that these 3 are already set,
Mhm.
the bands are already set. But apparently there's a lead singer in a band that lives right here in Orinoco. That if we expand or add dates or, next year. Would like to be considered as well.
Great.
So,
Fantastic.
kind of music?
let's lay it on my thing. It's kind of like the top classic kind of. I better not say it until like. But I
You
did
have it?
print it
You have it?
because.
I had one person call me too
Cool.
early on. This year and same type of thing. We knew this is fixed, but. I think if, my idea is that this would be picked up by some businesses. And funded by the businesses and promoted by the businesses would be my ideal to get it off our city budget
Mhm.
and.
Sponsored by businesses, so it'll be fun. Yeah, make a list of people next year if they're,
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna have to start auditioning.
yeah, I don't know.
I like that, Sunny. That's good.
So, all right, anything else with music, Ryland? You and I will kind of take care of promoting that and hand it out to Sunny. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna take a picture of this.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And Rylan, I'll do my best to make sure from Parks who can be there. But if we know anyone else that would want to help with something like that too, I don't know, I mean. What do you think, Rylan? I think we're doing our best to not have to do much except be there and remind people to come, right?
I'll introduce them. That's the plan. I know everybody. Or the people that got the leaders of the group, so.
Okay. I think maybe if we do the root beer floats, the last one, then that's the night we'll need extra hands.
Yeah,
There you go, I like it.
6 people.
Yeah, we can kind of cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
But I have them all in my calendar and so far I don't have anything else going on. So Sunday night at that time, it's usually people are back in town and
Ta-da.
Okay.
learn more. All right, previous lake bed, we kind of already went over. We're trying to acquire those peninsulas. Anything else? I did ask Kane at the council meeting that I just double checked that the trails will be fully mowed this year, so because there will be no more work being done. So there will be a continuous loop again, whereas last year they kind of were out and back. Anything else?
Speaking of work being done, Rylan, did they finish the riparian repair up by, what is that called, River Bend? Do you know?
What?
There was a repair that was gonna have to be done on the river by River Bend. Did they get to
Oh,
get that
yeah,
done,
that's
or was
the-
the,
That's the restoration project for the water sewer project.
yeah, did that get done, or do they still need to get in there?
I don't know.
That's fair.
I still think
And
they,
then, what's that?
yes, it's
that something that-
scheduled to use your path down through that property. I don't know
Right.
if they've done that or not yet.
Okay, I feel like they have not, although maybe, but I can't imagine they could have worked in that high water. And then what's the scoop with the road coming out of that neighborhood? That'd be like Third Avenue and 100th. What all are they doing there? Just some regular repairs on what turns into County Road? Well, that's not County Road 3, but do you know what they're doing over there? I'm sure they're not adding a turn lane into our neighborhood.
Oh, all the cones on 100th Street?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a county project to restore that road, repave it.
but that's like beyond Third Avenue, not before Third Avenue, I would think, right?
Yeah, they're paving it all the way to County Road 3. I looked at it last
Okay.
night, I saw it on the county project map. It's just a pavement revitalization, they call it.
Fancy. Pretty
About-
sure they're never gonna give us a turn lane there, right?
I don't know anything about a park turn lane.
On Third Avenue, this is like a story. It was there when the highway was being redeveloped, but then all of a sudden it disappeared because there was something else they had to pay for or something, so they took it away. But we're all still alive, so it's okay.
Alright, Garden Park, I don't think there's any updates. It's still a mess.
Wait,
right?
but there is one plot. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. Sunny told me that somebody rented a plot.
Okay,
So we're gonna be able to figure out a way for them to park there, yes? And turn the water on and all that stuff?
When I talked to Kane today, he said there's typically only one car there at a time.
Correct.
So, and as happens at Orinoco Park, they could turn and park on the grass if they wanted to.
mhm.
Right, right.
water
Well,
over there.
at Garden Park, it just got all wrecked because of the big, huge, I call them a manhole, but that's not really what they are. But there's 3 of those things right there. But I think the people, well, I hope the water line didn't get messed up when they did that, because the hose, it's not underground, so it should be fine. Because there is a water source out there.
Perfect. River Park, I don't think there's any updates. Everything looks good. Carroll Cowden Park, no updates.
The only thing on River Park is they're trimming trees along the path
Oh, yeah.
between River Park and Cedar Woodlands.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
So they did that already?
Yeah, they're working on it.
They've made one
Nice.
pass, gone back and marked some other incidental trees.
Yeah, gonna clean it up really nice.
And I think Renee is working on the Carroll Cowden Park stuff. Ownership wise.
I don't know. I think there's not much to work on.
I know, right?
Riverwood Hills Park.
It's not our highest priority, but it's on the list.
Riverwood Hills Park, any updates? I never get over there.
I wonder if they're almost done. Are they done, Rylan, or not really? With the digging and whatnot?
They're in the process of getting ready to seed it
Okay,
around the.
That's exciting.
lift stations. I did go over, I came here at 6:30 thinking that we started at 6:30.
oh, shoot,
So I went on and looked at the path off of Istis Lane. The path that they put in last year.
Uh-huh.
and
sure.
A lot of erosion,
Uh-oh.
so I took some pictures of that. I don't know if Joe Palin had that yet, but the contractor should come back to take care of that erosion, and there's also some, because of the erosion, there's a path or part of the bitumen is cracked off to the side too, so.
And I think Joe does know that, because I know we talked about it at the staff meeting, so Public Works will things about that as
They may
well,
have-
so.
You may have seen it already.
Yeah, I think Kane and Joe have communicated about that.
Good. That's good. Hopefully we can get that under control before it gets any worse. Memorial Park? T-ball is gonna start up soon.
Soon.
Should be done, shouldn't it?
Huh?
T-ball?
Starting up.
No, shouldn't it be done by now? Or is it starting?
Signups, you mean, are you talking signups? No,
Oh.
yeah, signups, I think. Might have extended it.
Today. To make sure that you get a T-shirt. But we'll take,
Yeah,
but you can't guarantee a shirt.
yeah.
Some people, yeah.
It's busy time of year, so these things fall by the wayside for parents. Anything else we want to discuss tonight before we adjourn? I'm excited to get to do our first night of the, that'll be before our next meeting.
Yep.
So everybody join us.
June 4th, right?
And then we working with Sunny on the contract. Bill and paying and everything like that, so. I guess we're gonna pay them.
Who's that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The,
I think,
Yeah.
Fort Vandal has talked to you about the contract, the payment of the contract.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Set up as a vendor, yep.
Yep.
And the other one too, yep.
all right, anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn because I arrived in Mankato and I appreciate your company on the way here.
All right, I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, 8:16, we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Ta-da. All right, take care, everybody.
Edie.
Safe travels.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.